Alright, hey everyone. I don't usually do political videos. In fact, this will probably be my first real political video. Now, I've noticed that there's something kind of going on a little bit right now in response to Google AdSense 2.0, the crackdown that's going on with Google, the Google employee who recently wrote a document that got him fired. And there's sort of a lot of grappling going on right now, especially with Sargon, to understand exactly what's going on, because a lot of people are sort of, saying, well, it's not SJWs. Like, what is the nature of the beast when it comes to this? How do we cook this chicken, so to speak, if we want to try and understand exactly what's going on with this particular situation. Now, this is something that we've been kind of noticing, we've been watching for a long time. And why in the world would Google ever want to, take sides ideologically? And why why are they doing these things anyway? And what is up with these diversity quotas and all of that stuff? So there's actually a fairly easy explanation, and I can understand exactly why a lot of people are having difficult understanding it. Is because a lot of our smartest minds, when it comes to this particular situation, are really great historians. But what we're seeing right now is the rise of the technocrat, which is not necessarily something that I think has ever happened before. Maybe it has. There are, I know that there are times where politics leaned very heavily against, the Luddites or whatever, where it was against technology, but the more and more powerful the technology gets, the more and more powerful the technocrat becomes. So that's actually the simple explanation when it comes to how you can really grasp with what is going on with Google, behind the scenes. So why would it be that, why is it technocrats? Like, and why would that be a thing exactly? Well, we know that for a while now, neoliberals have basically become corporatists. They're pretty much turning into authoritarian corporatists and things of that nature. Well, one of the things that's interesting about that is that a lot of the the diversity quotas and things that kind of leaned in those directions, what we've ended up with is we've kind of created a perfect environment, sort of a soil, in order to grow our technocrat environment. In other words, the neoliberal is like a metapod, and the technocrat is sort of a butterfree. The final form. It's literally the Democrat Party saying, "This isn't my final form," and a lot of people are characterizing the Democrat Party as being sort of they're characterizing the Democrat Party as being what, like leaderless. There's no message. They don't have anybody. They won't accept Bernie Sanders, and and then you see like the Justice Democrats and Kyle Kalinske pushing for the left to have like a populist left message will really resonate. That's exactly what we need to be worried about at the moment, because a populist left message can also be really easily characterized under the big tent of a technocracy, and that includes universal basic income, dealing with automation. In fact, there's a lot of push. There's already been a lot of push in this direction, in terms of like automation being a drive, like a boogeyman. And it really depends on how you look at it, though. And artificial intelligence being the greatest threat to humanity, which, I mean, it is a pretty damn big threat. Well, it can be. It really depends. So with that said, what we're watching is the technocrat. Now, technocrats are corporatists, and if you look at a lot of these CEOs and everything like that, I mean, let's listen to this. All right, this is Sargon responding to somebody saying, well, why don't we get back to the SJWs? We can't really do anything about these CEOs. Listen to this.
We know that SJWs are bad and they do stupid shit. Go back to discussing what you can actually do to counter this. Otherwise, this isn't going anywhere. Well, I mean, I think this is important to, get all of this out. And this isn't really like the SJWs either. The problem is these people are these people are the CEOs of one of the most powerful corporations on the face of the earth. So to say that this isn't important and won't go anywhere, I think is not true. I think it's really important to talk
They
about.
have more money than nations, man.
Yeah.
They do. They have more money. They have more money than nations. All right. So one of the things that's sort of being espoused by the idea of a technocracy is that it becomes fully globalized planet Earth, where basically everybody is mandated and forced to, live under the rule of the elite, which would be the ones who create and run and maintain the machines, which is the technology. This is kind of crazy sounding. It's very dystopian. It's not a good thing. Technocrats are by and large evil. In fact, we should be thinking of technocrats as evil, unnecessary evil, and just absolutely redundant. And the reason why I say that is that a technocrat doesn't need to exist. Technology by itself, if you watch how technology advances just through free market principles, under just basic guided, self-guided systems, like people choose what technologies they want to utilize through free market and everything like that. Technology espouses an ideology all by itself. It doesn't need a single person to actually say anything. Technology espouses a type of globalist, libertarian, government list, but everybody still maintains through some dynamic systems kind of thing, which is ultimately the direction we're all going to end up with if we continue to allow technology to grow organically, right? We'll have decentralized systems that nobody's really in control of, and that anybody at any point in time can make a new cryptocurrency. Everybody can make, a new social media platform, take something that already exists. Everything about open source software and things of that nature lead us down a path where nobody's really in charge. In other words, if we don't do anything other than just continue to utilize technology as we should, we are already espousing an ideology, a sort of hidden, unsaid ideology that we want to all just be like these self-contained entities that are all utilizing decentralized systems as a means of obtaining the things that we want through a society that is that does not require organization but is yet socialized or centralization. But none of that can happen if we allow technocrats to take control. Technocrats, such as Mark Zuckerberg. This guy wants to run for president. I think he actually kind of represents the first time I really think that we would really say the technocrats are trying to run for president. So any kind of corporate entity, any kind of CEO, anybody who's pushing high-end technology such as artificial intelligence and stuff like that, a lot of these people are trying to tell us what's going on. Musk is continuously saying, oh, we need to be extra worried about the artificial intelligence, but then you'll have people ask him, well, what do we do about it? What can we do? We have all these senators and everything like that, and he's up on stage and they're asking him, and he's just like, well, blah, 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 and then he just says some other stuff. The reason why either he doesn't want to tell us what we can do about it, or he doesn't want us to do anything about it. We have to be watching technocrats. They are the SJW 2.0. They are far more dangerous than SJWs, because SJWs are just that's something that's probably always going to be around. Like, people are, taking offense for other human beings is probably going to be something that just exists organically with the human mentality. It's just part of our mortal coil. But the technocracy and how we form the technocracy and how we allow the technocracy to control our lives, this is a war, this is an ideological war that needs to be fought very carefully, and we need to be thinking about how we utilize these things, because we don't want these corporations who have more money than nations to be the ones calling the shot. We don't want somebody like Mark Zuckerberg, you know, going up on stage and saying, automation, robots, you need universal basic income. Oh my God, look at all these self-driving cars. I think everybody should be driving self-driving cars. I don't think we should be allowed to have steering wheels in cars anymore. Ha ha ha. These guys are technocrats. They're pushing us in the direction of technology that's completely unnecessary. If you think about it, self-driving cars can easily work purely within, you know, the free market. And they could easily survive right next to, you know, cars with steering wheels. But what you're going to hear is that we all have to have self-driving cars. There needs to be you know, we need to enforce that everybody is self-driving these things. You know, these cars are the only things allowed on the road. When in reality, you don't need to do that. Technocrats are dangerous, and that's what we're dealing with here. The Google is filled with technocrats. They are SJW 2.0s, and that pretty much explains. I mean, to me, that explains an awful lot. I know that there's probably a lot more nuance going on here, but honestly, this is the first time I've created a video where I'm literally making it in hopes that somebody like Sargon might see it, because I see him kind of struggling with this. This is new, and Sargon, if I have one bit of advice, especially for everybody, and I see this a lot with the skeptic community, learn your cryptocurrency. Learn it. It's like joining a cult. It is an awful lot like it. But learn about it. There's no harm in learning about it. It's difficult. It's complicated. It's a giant public ledger filled with cryptography. It's a crazy concept. But it is one of the cornerstones in which we can fight the technocrats organically. Okay? They can't have control over something like that because it's decentralized. This is a battle, and we need to be fighting this new front. This is not the SJWs. This isn't just neoliberals anymore. This is a whole nother thing. This is a whole different beast. All right. I hope that this is at least informative. Pay attention to the technocrats. I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to end this video now. I'm going to put this up. I'm going to try and get this to you, Sargon, if I can, because I see you kind of like, you know, you do this stream. It's a really good stream. I really like your stuff. You know, I hope this is helpful.